What's going on, guys? It's Frager here again, and today I'm going to be building your ideas in Minecraft. Now, it has been a little while since my last Building Your Ideas video, and I do want to make these videos with a little more frequency, so expect some more of these in the near future. All of my ideas from these videos come from my Discord members, so if you want to be part of a video like this in the future, then make sure to join my Discord server linked down in the description below. And if you like this type of content and you want to see more of it from me, then make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. But anyway, that's enough for this intro, so let's get right into these ideas. This first idea comes from technically two people, but the first suggestion was from the M, and they suggested that I build an underwater village. And then my friend Sky built off of that idea and suggested that I do it themed around Subnautica. And after looking up some reference images of Subnautica on Google, I really wanted to make this one Subnautica themed. And I know the original suggestion was for an Atlantis themed village, but I feel like a smaller scale Atlantis village wouldn't have looked right, and a large scale one would have been a whole video in and of itself. But with the Subnautica theme, it's a little bit easier to keep it smaller and still look good. So for this one, I'm just building a bunch of different rooms and then connecting them with tubes. And the materials I'm using are quartz, a lot of glass, polished blackstone, and sea lanterns for light. I decided to build this one on a hill here under the ocean to give it a little bit more height variation and look a little more unique. And I also wanted it to be filled out a little bit more, and honestly, I don't really think I did a good job of filling it out. But being on a time crunch, because there are a lot of other ideas I want to get to in this video, I think in the end it turned out pretty good. But anyway, that's it for this first idea, so now it's time to move on to our next one. This next build idea comes from Cream, and they suggested that I build my PC. So up on the screen right now, I'll throw up a reference image for what my PC looks like, and I'll also throw up the specs for those of you who are interested. So to start off this PC build, I'm building the case, which is the Corsair 4000D Airflow. And for this one, the main materials that I'm using are white concrete and gray concrete. And for these PCIe slot covers, I decided to go with iron bars because they're the closest thing I have in Minecraft to what they actually look like, which is a gray color with slots in them. And then for the perforated panels on the front, top, back, and on top of the PSU shroud, I went with iron trap doors because they're white and they also have perforations in them. So that's it for this case, and I think it looks almost identical to what it actually looks like in real life. Now it's time to move on to putting in the actual components. And to start off the actual components, I'm building the motherboard first, and I went with obsidian for the material, which I probably should have gone with something more like a coal block or black concrete, but I think the obsidian looks fine. And then to finish off this motherboard, we're installing the RAM and the CPU, and for the CPU we're also installing the heatsink, which I'm not completely happy with how this heatsink turned out. I went through a bunch of design iterations before landing on this one, and the materials I used were gray concrete for the heat fins, and then jungle fences for the heat pipes. Now moving on to the next components, we're going to be installing our SSD, and then we're going to install our graphics card. And both of these are going to be built using charcoal blocks. And then for the graphics card, I filled it in with gray concrete for the heat fins. And now it's time to install the PSU, which is just going to be a big box of charcoal. And now all that's left for this PC build are the fans. And to finish this one off, I decided to add in a bunch of colored wool everywhere because my PC has a lot of RGB lighting in it. And with that, this PC build is done. So here is what my PC looks like in Minecraft. And now it's time to move on to our next idea. And this one comes from Entity, and they suggested that I build a modern/green skyscraper. So the idea I had for this one was that it would be a circular skyscraper, and the center part would be made out of cyan terracotta, and then that would be flanked by two white concrete spirals going all the way up to the top. And after making these two white spirals, I thought it looked kind of weird having them both go all the way to the top, so I decided to bring one of them down and have the peak of that spiral line up with the bottom of the other spiral. So it just looked like this continuous spiral going all the way up the side of the building. And then for the windows on the main part of the structure, I went with black stained glass and then outlined it in black concrete to get this continuous look for the glass. And then to finish off the skyscraper, to make it green, I'm going to be putting a garden at the top with a bunch of solar panels. And for this garden, I'm going with 4 plots of grass and then putting in a bunch of trees, leaves, and grass everywhere. And for the solar panels, of course, I'm going to be using daylight sensors, and I set them to night mode, which turns them blue, and I think that looks so much closer to what solar panels actually look like in real life. And with that, this modern/green skyscraper is completely done. So now it's time to move on to our final idea. And this one comes from one of my friends, Logan, and they suggested that I build the Rainbow Six Siege logo. So this one's gonna be pretty simple and self-explanatory. The part I struggle with the most on this logo is putting that gun at the center of the 6. I think it turned out alright. It doesn't really look like what it's supposed to, but within the limitations of Minecraft, I think it looks fine. And with that, this Rainbow Six Siege logo is finished. So to finish off this video, let's check out every single idea that we built up. So that's going to do it for this building your ideas in Minecraft video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one, and if you want to see more of this, then make sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below if you have not already. And again, if you want to be a part of a video like this in the future, then make sure to join my Discord server, linked down in the description below. I think all of these ideas were really good, and there were so many other ideas that I got that I just wasn't able to get to today. But anyway, that's going to be it for today, so as always, don't forget to keep building.